My traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies. The dawn is breaking on the stage that holds our final destiny. And so my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, don't dream it, be it. Because the show must go on. And on today's episode, what I see so far on the table and from under the deck is that potentially we have some people ready to embark on some sort of significant life change. Or it's a project of some sort, but this looks like something that would be a little bit long term. So what we're looking at is potentially a lifestyle change, potentially a career change, someone re-entering education to do a specific thing, or it is just a creative project or something like it that is going to take a long time. And so what I was seeing under the deck is sort of the natural progression in the energy from undertaking something like a life change or undertaking something like a large scale project, like starting with that motivation, running into like turbulence in the energy of like self-doubt or what if things don't work out, or running into an actual external obstacle, something like that, overcoming those things, working through those emotions, and sort of like rinse, repeat. That was what the bottom of the deck energy looked like. And what I have from the oracle on the table is we have readiness. Someone's ready to start. We have evidence. As we go along with whatever it is, you're going to be looking at what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what to change, what to keep the same. That's like pretty much a never-ending process. And then what we have here is gift. So I'm saying like the reading is sort of looking like it's ending with a positive result, perhaps in materiality, but this is not, it's not striking me that whatever this gift is the end of whoever's process this is. This is just sort of like, it seems like a small portion of something much larger, but it just looks like in general, whoever this is applying to so far is on the right track. And it seems like they will be going forward. I wasn't seeing anything under the deck that struck me as particularly surprising for anyone undertaking something like this at all. It all looked very normal, very, very everyday. So just understand, if you are making lifestyle changes and things like that, it's normal not to be super motivated every day. It's normal to have self-doubt. It's normal to not be positive or excited all the time. It's normal to just go through the motions some days, even if you're doing something that you very much love. It's like that with anything. So if you are especially looking at other, like let's just say it was something like with fitness, right? Let's say part of how you motivate yourself is you curate at least one of your social media feeds to give you like predominantly fitness influencer content or something like it. And you're sort of looking at all of this very curated highlight reel stuff of how, first of all, if it's a fitness influencer who's not like a reasonable fitness influencer, right? If you're talking about like people who are getting like a lot of the top sponsorships and things like that, those are going to be people who are like fitness models of a certain sort, right? Because we do have like fatter fitness influencers and fatter people on the cover of fitness magazines and all that kind of stuff now. But typically in general, the people who are going to be making the most popular content like that are very much going to be very lean, muscular people who fit a certain beauty aesthetic. That's going to predominantly be it. So I would be careful about how you are curating your social media feeds. You might want to have a range of people, like intentionally put a range of bodies or a range of different experiences in there. And then also understand that even when you're looking at that, Even because like the fitness influencers will throw in, right? Oh, I had like a bad day today, and they're very frustrated with themselves. But like, depending on who it is, their bad day for you is like a top day. And so depending on what I'm saying, who you're watching, what you're watching, some of that can actually end up be a little bit like demoralizing if like we don't keep in mind who these people are and what they're showing you. Nothing of what you're seeing on social media pretty much is real. Like even the stuff I put out there, like I feel like I'm talking normally and things like that. And I pretty much talk like this, like if I'm really comfortable with people in my day-to-day, but you're still only seeing about 40 minutes to an hour of something that I am intentionally putting out on the internet every day. So I would say it's probably not a very good representation of the complete range of me. But you wouldn't really get that unless you were a very, very close friend of my family, or you were in fact living with me in some capacity. So I just put that out there to like remind you about comparison to other people. It's fine to be motivated, but just remember that like, if you're only seeing people getting wins, like that's not reality at all. That's something curated. I see the 9 of Swords and the 4 of Swords. And it's just sort of like, because there is some sort of like self-imposed stress. Nothing that I was seeing under the deck seemed like something that was coming like predominantly from the external environment. When I was looking at it, it seemed very much like, what are you watching? What thoughts are you entertaining? Because it seemed like it was like sweet dreams, origin, nightmare, relax, like relaxation. It was sort of like there was something self-induced or self-imposed about it. It seemed like it was coming from the inside. And that's very much what I'm seeing here under this deck. 9 of Swords, 4 of Swords. What thoughts are you entertaining about what it is that you're doing? And can you let some of that go? And especially if you're watching anything or doing anything that's reinforcing those thoughts, can you recognize that? Can you recognize that and like do some harm reduction is what I'm saying. Like we're not going for perfect. We're just looking to improve the quality of your life as you are moving towards the lifestyle of your preference. We're getting as close to that as is humanly possible for you. But I am not seeing it slow down anybody's action with this Knight of Swords. There's a lot of swords energy here. So what I would say about that, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And part of the anxiety might be expecting an unreasonable result in an unreasonable amount of time and trying to get a lot of things done in a short amount of time, something very quickly. That can tend to backfire, especially for something like a fitness goal or a health goal. But what I see here is justice. Whatever it is likely you are going to balance things out as you go, which is also normal. And that Knight of Swords is turning into the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. So the Swords energy is softening. And as you walk away, likely, because like this is just, again, very normal. You, in your process, are going to build up a body of experience and you are going to say, this stuff, it like, you know, I know it works for this person, it doesn't work for me. And so you're going to go through a number of periods where you're picking something up, trying it, putting it down, and walking away from it until you are getting to your success. Your mini goals, whatever it is, and then you are looking toward the horizon to see what are we doing next. Now that I've gotten this degree, now that I've gotten my skill set up this way, now that I've gotten like this title at my job, where am I going from there? And like all of this just seems so normal. All of this just seems so normal because I've got the 8 of Swords here, 2 of Coins, the Tower, the 7 of Coins, and I understand the Tower, and it's just like, we tend to get stuck in things, these thoughts, whatever they are, self-imposed prisons, like it could be catastrophizing, could be a normal of things, sorting it out, and then making a drastic change for yourself. Like some towers are self-imposed, like they're intentional. we make those radical changes and then seeing how it works out for you in the long term. Looking at all of the results that you've gotten from this long-term process. That's what I'd like. This is a very, I'm saying a non-exciting read. It just seems very real life to me. And I kind of like these because, I mean, it's just like I'm describing reality. Some of the stuff that I talk about, while I feel like I'm always reading the cards accurately based on my own perception and everything and not long-term process, I'm not getting convictions on anything and being like, oh, there's something untrue that you're saying. Some of this stuff, like, I don't know, to me it sounds very exciting. And to me, when you've got a read that sounds very exciting, that's kind of like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 moments throughout your year, depending on who you are. And then the rest of it is fairly like, I'm doing my routine. I'm doing my day-to-day stuff that like builds me up to like those big wins, like whatever they are. So let's go ahead and see a little bit with the tarot of what's going on here. So we're looking at readiness. First, what is under here? Readiness, we have the Queen of Wands. You're feeling confident. You're feeling good. You are feeling positive about whatever it is that you are going to do. You're ready to take action. Queen of Wands, action-taking card. Feeling positive about it. So now let's see, what is it under evidence? We have evidence of something. Evidence, King of Pentacles. Like I said, this is a result in materiality. And we've got a queen and a king here at the moment. I don't know that these are 2 different people. It's striking me more that these are just aspects of yourself. The Queen of Wands is an action taker. And the King of Pentacles is someone who is getting results in the material world, which is that evidence. Here is my result. So to me, it's just like, we're taking confident action, we're getting a result, okay? And then for gift, right? What do we have under gift? Oh my gosh. Well, what is this? The 5 of Cups. Souvenir, promotion, delight. I do. Here's the thing. I'm going to read this way for a moment. And trust me, like, even though it's true, it's so true. It's so annoying hearing this. Let's say that not all of your results are positive, right? Let's say you end up with a disappointing result at some point. You fail at something. Failure is a gift, or it tends to be a gift. When somebody really gets a lot of wins easily and they don't get a lot of failures, the first time that they get a failure, depending on how long it's gone on for them, it tends to be fairly traumatic. And the thing is, people who have the best chance of getting some type of long-term success, I'm taking out things like intergenerational wealth and like I'm taking that stuff out of the conversation for a moment, because just because all of that stuff exists, just because racism exists, just because, yes, people have a capitalist advantage, people are hotter than you, men are going to have more societal advantages in some areas than women. Women are, there are industries where women are going to tend to be more accepted than men. All of that goes on, okay? I'm not saying none of that is real and it doesn't impact people in very real ways. However, that does not mean that you cannot live a life of your preference. It doesn't mean that you cannot have long-term success in a way that is like reasonable, right? Because there's the reasonable expectation of success and then there's the unreasonable expectation, or what I think is unreasonable. It's not that, like, if you have a direct calling, if you understand that you are supposed to be like an A-list celebrity, okay? I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just saying, for me, in general, for people, that's an unreasonable expectation. The more reasonable expectation is to be a working actor. And even that is fairly challenging. But it's just way more like, let's get the working actor part first, and then maybe we'll figure out the A-list success, because that is dependent on a number of things that most, like, you're not in control of it, is what I'm saying. You're just not in control of it. So what I'm saying about long-term success is that failure, mistakes, and disappointments are part of the process. And so we tend to learn the most from our failures. That's the gift of failure and disappointment. It builds resiliency, because in order to keep going, you cannot let the failure or the mistake or with the disappointment, whatever it is, stop you. So you're building resiliency when that happens. So when you get more of those obstacles or those disappointments, it's not hitting you as hard. It's not slowing you down as much. And then also, in those failures, you tend to learn way more than if you were just getting success. And it's more than resiliency and coping. It has to do with, this is what I did wrong here. So now I know that when I do this, in general, it's going to do this. Wow, am I sure not going to do that again? It's just the type of thing that can't be taught. And so when you see something like, we need somebody with this much experience for like a particular role, there are things that even if you are like a genius level like student in university, there are, if you're leaving academia, right? If you're going into a corporate environment or a different environment, even if you're super smart, there are things that only experience within that environment will teach you. And so that's why experience is important. So that can be the gift of something like a 5 of Cups experience. Learning how to grieve that appropriately, see that for what it is without like coping or bypassing, and then yes, turning around to the 2 of Cups that is behind you. So let's go ahead and see if we can get any more details on this, because this is sounding like a very, very general read to me, which is fine, but it just sounds very like encouragement and like general practical life advice. So let's get a little bit more on this readiness and our Queen of Wands. Woo! Huh? Yes, we are motivated. We are motivated. Ace of Swords, that's all. Like, I got 2 Ace of Cups. The Emperor, oh my goodness. Y'all are like ready to go. I got the Emperor, the 2 of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups. That is cups. It's kind of a weird, it looks like you would assume that'd be wands, right? It's not, it is cups. The Ace of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. So what I have here is just some very confident, Queen of Wands, Emperor, very, very confident. And it seems like real confidence to me. 2 of Pentacles, we have an action plan. We've thought things out. Ace of Cups, we're feeling energetic momentum, or this could even be a calling. It could be a calling to some sort of role. And Page of Pentacles, likely you will receive some sort of like beneficial result early on in the process, or that is indicating that you have some sort of capital. If something about what you're doing involves capital, if you don't have that yet, perhaps somebody will be lending it to you, giving it to you, or it will come to you through another means. Okay. So yes, we're ready for whatever it is. So then evidence and our King of Pentacles. All right, our King of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, Jesus. 10 of Cups, 2 of Swords, 2 of Swords, Death, and the Sun. All right, let me look at that. It could be that part of this process, whatever it is that you are going to be making some sort of major decision, either about your personal fulfillment with this 10 of Cups, or this is a community of people, or it is in fact family. Major decision because we have the Two of Swords and Death. Major decision, major choice. It is a positive one with the Sun. So let me go ahead and pull some more on that and see if we can't get some more details on this 10 of Cups. Oh, whoa, 10 of Cups is, yeah, there is something going on here. This would be something long-term. So if it's in your personal fulfillment or the way that you're living with life, this would be something you would have been thinking about or noticing for a long time. Same thing if it's a family or a friend group or something. It could even be a corporate environment. We've got 9 of Swords, 4 of Cups. There's some sort of dissatisfaction. Temperance, long-term dissatisfaction with some aspect of what's going on here. And this is like coming in the mid-process. It's likely that you're going to understand this kind of as you're going. So maybe you're thinking about this now, but you're not really sure. It's going to be more solidified for you as you move through this. So 2 of Swords and Death. Let's see if we can't get any more details on like the sort of decision this is, like what it entails, because that's pretty Magician, whatever it is, you are very much going to like have agency over this. Like you are the one in charge is what it seems like. 4 of Pentacles. Queen of Swords, it almost seems like removing your, like keeping to yourself or removing yourself, or not doing a specific type of labor or something, either for yourself or for other people. Magician, work, I am taking charge of this decision. 4 of Pentacles, removing or stopping. Queen of Swords is kind of like, I'm seeing her like, that's a decision. That is a decision made, but this is also like someone, coupled with this 4 of Pentacles, like this looks like someone who is like at peace with something. Whatever decision is going to be made here, you will be at peace with it, or it will contribute to your peace. This 4 of Pentacles, the 5 of, this is the Hierophant. It could be, I don't know if you've maybe been casting pearls before swine, I'm not sure, or trying to teach pigs to sing, right? Because you should not try to teach a pig to sing. It's just going to agitate the pig and frustrate you. Okay, so it could be something like that, or it could be that there is a particular religious community that you are not vibing with. It could be something like that. It could be a particular structure. Like I said, it could be a corporate environment. It's no longer suiting you. But the Hierophant is something that has some sort of structure, and it can be a more traditionalist, like patriarchal hierarchy type thing, right? So you might be choosing to remove yourself from something like that. 8 of Swords, whatever it is, it's something that is confining you. But like I said, you are going to be changing this, so let's look at the Sun. The Sun is the 2 of Pentacles. The 5 of Pentacles, see, you're leaving. 5 of Pentacles, also that's a Church, the Fool. Whatever you're deciding to leave or not do anymore, it's the best for you. With that 5 of Pentacles, it might be a bit challenging to do this depending on your feelings about the community, because while something isn't the best for you, that doesn't mean that you hate the people involved. It just means that like you need to move on, and sometimes that can be painful. So that 5 of Cups is more suggesting to me, I'm leaving, because if you look, like, I don't think it's 2 people. I think like this is a larger part of yourself and then a smaller part of yourself. Wherever you are, this smaller part of yourself or a part of yourself is not thriving here. So we gotta go. We gotta go, and then we're like into the Fool. So it might be a challenging decision to make and enact, but at the end of the day, it's working for you. And that might be what that 5 of Cups is. You might have to be okay with disappointing other people who perhaps you care about, right? But that is the big decisions that we make to center ourselves being okay with disappointing others or having others unhappy with us when we are making the best decisions for ourselves and our lives. Okay, we're looking at gift and this 5 of Cups. And what's going on here? The Star, you know, I'm wondering if this is other people after you make this change, right? It might be that in order to have the best outcome for you, other people that you know need to be in that 5 of Cups, unfortunately. The Star, the 8 of Pentacles. The hanged cat, that's funny. I'm gonna pull again on that hanged cat, but what this is looking like to me is that there are other people watching you. Perhaps Star, 8 of Pentacles, get recognition for whatever this thing is that you're doing, this gift. And they are the ones who are disappointed. So let me go ahead, because this Star, 8 of Pentacles is kind of like one energy to me. So I'm gonna pull on that first. Okay, this is 8 of Pentacles again. This is, obviously you're doing something here and it's consistent. If it's not actually your job, it's something that you're doing consistently and likely have been for a while. The Tower, the King of Pentacles, that Tower is a positive tower for you. And that could be that decision. The Moon, let me go ahead and get one more on that Moon card. Well, the Tower as well, but first the Moon. It's just, whatever this, like we get this, like, you're going to be asked, whatever that Tower is, it's a positive thing that is happening because of what you're doing. That's boosting you to that King of Pentacles. Sometimes we get that as the Queen of Pentacles. And then there's like this uncertainty. You are going to move through it successfully. It might take you a little while to acclimate to your new position, your new role, your new level of recognition, whatever it is, because I do have the Death again under the deck. There's some sort of significant thing that is going to be happening here. It's a positive thing, but because it's coming as the Tower, it's going to hit you hard. It usually is showing up as a drastic positive change that is changing your status in some way. And when that happens, it's just normal to have a whole bunch of emotions about it from yourself and from the people around you. Like, it exposes a lot of things that maybe you didn't understand before. This Tower is the 10 of Pentacles. Like I said, very positive Tower and making sense, okay? If we're at Queen of Wands, King of Wands, you're going to the Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. That Tower is a sudden influx of like money, recognition, status, something that is going to make you uncertain. And then we have like, and that's even a 5 of Cups. Like, people think that's weird, like, but this is also positive. Why are you disappointed? And it's like, well, because even though this is positive, my life is totally different now. One aspect of my life is completely over. That's like a death. Also, one version of myself has died. I am now a different person. I am now being treated differently. Like, my life doesn't look the same. I get to have feelings about that. Despite what money I have, despite what success I have, despite what positive attention that I'm getting for whatever it is that I'm doing, I am allowed to have complex feelings about that. I would say, if anything that you're doing is public, be careful if you decide to share that with anybody, how you're sharing that, in what format. If it's friends, you know, pick your friends wisely, who you're sharing that with. If you have a therapist or access to a therapist, that might be a better option. If you are making something on social media to put something out about these complex emotions, if you're doing that in the midst of it happening, I would say that's probably not the best idea. Because it can jack up your process. You're going to get a lot of feedback from people that might just confuse you, or you'll have people, like, especially if it's about success, conflicted feelings about success, especially if it involves a significant amount of money, you know, you're gonna have people who don't understand that at all. And I mean, that's also understandable, because it's essentially you sitting there crying on top of a big pile of money when there are people who are in your audience who are perhaps dealing with poverty and not having potable drinking water. So we've got to like think about how we're sharing that, with whom we're sharing it, and when we're sharing it. I don't think that there's anything wrong with making like a piece of content about those feelings. I would say though, that type of content is better released after you're already through stuff, so you have more of a perspective on what you're talking about. Because I guarantee you that most people, when they're making content like that, like if it happened to me, right, what I would be thinking is, I would be thinking, there are other people who are walking a similar path that I am, and they need to know the reality of what this experience is like, so they're not completely blindsided by it when it happens to them. Or like, because people can get confused, they can be like, oh, my happiness and fulfillment is completely tied up in this status or like money or whatever it is. No, there are certain things that money can get you access to, but typically money is not the thing that's going to make you happy. It tends to remove stressors, okay, which facilitates happiness, but it's not the thing that is giving you happiness. And so most people, when they're making content that's reporting on stuff like that or trying to share that experience, is ultimately to help you understand what you're getting into, and that when you go through it, that you're not completely thrown off by the fact that you're not like super happy with what's going on. Like you might think something's wrong with you for experiencing the 5 of Cups at a major win. And it's totally, to me, that's totally normal. So that's why. But I would say that in waiting to make a piece of content like that, after you're through it, you will be in a much more stable place to address or deal with the inevitable criticism that you're going to get from something like that, which is completely valid and understandable as well. But if you try and do that while you're in the 5 of Cups or while you're in that Tower, it's just going to create more chaos. So our Hanged Cat, that might be you trying to think about how you're dealing with this uncertainty, or it is other people who are watching you and perhaps feeling conflicted. 9 of Cups. The Hermit, I think this is you. Knave of Chalice, I think that's the Page of Cups. I'm fairly sure this is you. So the gift is a positive thing. The 5 of Cups is also you. And when this 9 of Cups things like I said, this is 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, King of Pentacles, positive, 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 positive. Hermit, Hanged Man. I have to think about this. And it seems like we're going to end up with a positive result, right? Like, I'm different now, but I have to process this. You're going to come out of it just fine. But it, you know, it's just that weird shit that goes on in life. Yeah, the Lovers. If you experience any internal divisions within yourself due to whatever this is, if you decide to retreat for a little while, I think that's a healthy decision. It will unite you with yourself again. So if you feel like you need to take a break after you experience this, by all means, do it for your health, your mental health. Knight of Wands, you're going to come through that in a positive, energetic space. You're going to be reinvigorated. And like I said, you're going to move on into the next phase. This is strength. Ultimately, even though a process like that can be traumatizing in its own way, you're going to come out stronger. And that is also the gift, right? Besides whatever like success that we're having here, So I want to look at this King of Pentacles, the Star, Eight of Pentacles, to see if we can't get any more information about that. Other than that, we're going to move right on to our final advice, outcome, closing with the Sun and the Father, because this all seems quite wonderful and also very life, right? Very, one of the larger movements of our lives. All right. King of Pentacles, the Star, Eight of Pentacles. Ooh. Now, well, I'm seeing the Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Coins again. Like, there's something going on here where you're gonna have to leave something or make some sort of big decision. You got a big decision. And that could, if this is a side thing that like blows the hell up, that could be, this could be leaving the day job, making that level of a decision. And when it's just yourself, that's a big decision. When you are a parent, it's a bigger decision. When you're married, it's a bigger decision, okay? When you've got people who depend on you in some capacity, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more people we add, right? Because you could even be a single person, but perhaps you're the caregiver for your parents or grandparents, something like that. All right, Star, Eight of Pentacles, Three of Coins. Ace of Pentacles, it could be that you receive money from an external source. Like I said, we kind of had something like that. Six of Wands. Nine of Coins. This is either Three of Coins, the community giving back to you in a very, very real, tangible way for some sort of work that you did for them. Perhaps you help people with their own foundations. This could be work that you're doing with other people that's just big time blowing up. It's just like, all I'm seeing here is that something that you are doing, either with yourself or with other people, blowing the frick up. And there's our Hermit under the deck, and then having thoughts, you know, we're having thoughts about this. I'm gonna go around one more time. I'm not seeing anything new here. So if I go around one more time and I don't see anything new, we're just gonna skip to the end, you know what I mean? Because I mean, is there really anything to dig into? Eight of Swords, hold on, let me look at that. Because that Three of Pentacles, that could be what you need to leave, perhaps? I'm not sure. But again, that's not really new. We saw that. Oh, this could also be, like, when this happens, that you get some crabs in the bucket stuff from other people, or it could be people trying to hold you back or keep you in the position or role in which they're most comfortable with you, right? Queen of Pentacles, I think it's probably more about that. It might be that you're not going to make the decision, because it was on this King of Pentacles where we saw that decision being made. So as you are progressively reaching a different level of success or something like that, that may be when you have to make this sort of decision here. I'll get one more on it. King of Wands, you're gonna do what you need to, like, you're gonna do what you need to do. Is that it's not another person, it's you. King of the Wands and the Pentacles are both out. That's just talking about your energy. So, I mean, Ace of Pentacles, you might pass out when this Ace of Pentacles, whatever that is, comes in. You'd be like, oh my gosh. It might be like, oh, I gotta think about that. Like, oh my gosh. What? I never expected that. Oh. You need a little fainting couch. That could be an opportunity as well. The Hierophant. Well, so the opportunity could be coming from that structured place. Let me see, is this Hierophant a positive thing? So I might have been reading that wrong to begin with, though. Probably that's for somebody. It still seems What this is seeming like to me is like you're going to get something, that Ace of Pentacles, whatever it is, you're going to pass out a little bit, not for real, maybe some of you. And then there is some environment, that more structured environment that I'm talking about. 6 of Coins, 9 of Wands. It's someplace where you've been giving of yourself for a long time. 9 of Wands, like it might be that you're moving away from that. It's giving very corporate. So then we have the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands is coming with the 7 of Swords and the 7 of Cups. It might be that you have hush-hush opportunities here, or opportunities that you need to keep quiet about. Depending on what it is, this is very normal. This is like someone, like, because I know most about the publishing industry. When people sign to particular agencies or get particular deals, like you don't talk about it right away. It's typically like the official channel has to announce it and then you're going to talk about it. So there might be opportunities that you get that you can't talk about it until there's some sort of official announcement, because there's all sorts of like negotiations and contracts and things like that. Hermit, yeah, it's something you just have to keep quiet. Whatever, there's stuff involved with this 6 of Wands stuff that you're not going to be able to talk to other people about, and it's offers and opportunities. Page of Wands, 4 of Cups, because with that 7 of Cups, you are going to be receiving offers or whatever that you are not interested in. So it's bad form to kind of talk publicly about an offer that you're kind of like, ew, I didn't want, like, unless it's something like totally unethical, right? So it's just, this is kind of all seeming very normal to me for something like this. And then 9 of Coins. 9 of Coins, Knight of Swords, you will be taking action from your new position or this thing that you've created, whatever this is. Might stress you out some. 9 of Swords, like I said, it's like there's like going to be turbulence on this. It doesn't matter though, because we're ending up back again at the 8 of Coins, King of Cups. You're going to work through all of it. 7 of Wands, it's like there's a lot of stuff for you to contend with here. Knight of Wands, you are going to be able to do it successfully. Death, great big change, the world. It's all like reasonable energy, a reasonable story for something associated with a life change like this, okay? Especially if you know you're pursuing it actively. So before we get to final advice outcome, closing with the Sun and the Father, if you have benefited from the channel in any way, and you do have the means to give back financially, I have a link down below for House of Tulip. House of Tulip is a local nonprofit created and run by trans and gender non-conforming people of color. House of Tulip's mission is to support houseless, trans and gender non-conforming youth with homes, toiletries, community, job opportunities, clothing, all of that good stuff, so they can live the authentic lives of their preference integrated within the community, right? So if you have anything that you are able to give and you feel like giving back, please give it to them, because they very much need and deserve those resources. So now let's go ahead and get our final advice outcome. Well, I'm happy for y'all. I'm happy to see y'all getting this in the energy. I kind of hope it goes away, because you know I like to see things manifest. And when we lose the narrative, that means the energy's done playing out. Let's see here, Ace of Wands. I'm seeing good things. I'm seeing motivation. I'm seeing positive energy, positive news. 5 of Swords. Like I said, you might have to deal with some conflicts here. Some interpersonal jealousy, something like that. I'll look at it. The Lovers, but like I said, whether that is an external conflict or an internal one completely with yourself, things are going to work out. If you are having to leave one community or one position, you are going to receive another. If you have fallout with family or friends, either you will reconcile with those same people, or there are going to be new people ready to support you, okay? I'll go around one more time and then we will get Jesus. But like I said, I see you contending with all of these things like fairly positively. Four of Wands, this is a celebration. This is a celebration. I mean, it could potentially be like with like we have Four of Wands and the Lovers. I don't know if you're going to be like meeting somebody, if you're single. At the moment, it's just giving me more of a personal thing. But I wouldn't close, you know, if you know that maybe somebody else would be involved, like that is showing up here. A new partner, something. Five of Swords, Three of Pentacles, likely. If something is showing up on the external, it's going to be some sort of interpersonal conflict based on whatever this success is. Again, normal. And then the Lovers, the Magician. I still think, I'll look at it, I'll pull one more on it, but it just seems to me like big choices that you're making successfully, things that you are reconciling within yourself successfully, and just becoming this new version of yourself. King of Pentacles. Perhaps you have never been the King of Pentacles before. You are becoming that. So is this just the collective's energy, or are we in fact dealing with potentially a lover, a partner? Oh, Knight of Wands. I don't know, that could be somebody. That could be somebody. It could just be you. I'll look one more time because it kind of could go either way. The Empress, I think it's y'all. I think it's y'all. The High Priestess, yeah, probably y'all. I think right now we're just dealing with your energy. So let's go ahead and get Jesus on this. All right, Jesus says, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. It seems like whatever you're doing is also providing like personal fulfillment. It's something that it could potentially be a spiritual calling, even if it's not like a spiritual or magical business or whatever. It's something, it's like in your purpose, right? It's part of your authentic self, your authentic truth. But it is doing something more than providing you with fame, status, power, or profit. While it might be doing those things as well, this is something that you very much love and care about, and it is a source of energy. Doing this process is creating its own energy for you, not depleting you, at least consistently, right? I am with you always to the end of the age. I just think you have support in this. I think you have support in this from the forces, and likely you have support in this from the community and from people you know. Like even if it, like, let's say it's like an online thing, like maybe you have a really, really dedicated audience. Even if it's an audience of 20 people, those 20 people freaking love you, okay? And then Jesus finally says, peace be with you. When you start going through this, understand, you have this under control. It's normal for you to be feeling whatever you're feeling. You are going to come through this okay. And just remember, you know, remember your centered place. Remember that you get to be to yourself. Remember that you get to take breaks, right? Just like, especially if this is a service-based thing, you get to have time to yourself. So peace be with you. So, of course, the Son precedes the Father, and we always end with the highest authority. Whoop. The highest authority, of course, being Bob. Our Father, who art in heaven. We end, as always, with the word of Bob, which is good all the time. Bob always knows what to do, always giving that positive, loving advice, and great manifestation advice as well. So what does Bob have for us? Supporting the collective today, supporting the community in all of their endeavors, great and small. Bob says, this would be a good place for my little squirrel to live. This has been prepared for you. I know typically when we say like a table has been laid for, like we're typically saying, I have laid a table for my enemies. It's not really giving that. I'm just saying this place has been prepared for you. However, you have mutually been preparing this place. that is also a co-creation, even when like you're getting that thing, right? This thing that I never could have anticipated, even if I dreamed of it. It's something that serendipity, the forces, and all of that has to have a hand in as well. Bob also says, you have to allow the paint to break to make it beautiful. This is about these complex feelings. And likely, whatever you go through, it is going to make you, it doesn't kill you, makes you stranger. It's something like that. It is something about this process in dealing with it and coming through it. It is going to make you a much more interesting person. You are going to grow in a way that you are just like, it's just the nature of life experience. The more life experience you tend to accumulate, the way more interesting you tend to be as a person. It's like what, I don't think it's macerating or whatever, but it's like, the fine wine aging and becoming more complex as it ages. And for that experience, that is the 5 of Cups. You have to allow the paint to break to make it beautiful. Perfectly imperfect, wabi-sabi energy. So allow yourself, it's not breaking, but allow yourself your pain. Even if on the outside, maybe you would even judge somebody for feeling bad in the midst of something that most of society would consider extremely positive, and just be grateful for. Bob finally says, go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is. Take your chance. You're ready. Because that's where the gift is. So, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, I am your GM, your game master for this, the game of life. I am also, of course, the greatest magician of the age and perhaps the greatest magician of all time. And together, you and I will perform the greatest magic trick of all time. We will reverse the polarities of the world, make America great for once. Fly this boat to the moon somehow, shift our world onto the mega happy timeline, perhaps leaving it a much better place than it ever has been before, because we are, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, crawling on the planet's face, some insects called the human race, lost in time and lost in space. End meeting.